Hi guys, how are you doing this morning? So today is Sunday, May the 10th, and I'm very happy to be back with you for episode 8 of my Inspirations podcast. So this is a podcast about knitting and dyeing and bits and pieces of other subjects, like always crafty or book related or movies and series, but basically the backbone is knitting and dyeing, yarn dyeing. So my name is Christelle. I'm the creative person behind Tricot Stitch. And thank you if you are a returning viewer. It's a great pleasure to be back with you. And if you're watching for the first time, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy this episode. So today on the menu, I wanted to share with you a bit of news. So yeah, pieces of news regarding the lockdown, because officially it ends tomorrow in France. So we are in lockdown until tonight, 11 hours 59 minutes, and then it's finished. So it's really a good piece of news because it's been very trying, even if my family and I were very lucky in that we were happy at home, and I think we're a family of introverted people, so we really fare well at home, being at home. But it's going to be a relief to be able to see the family. I have some close family that live approximately at a 1 hour drive, so yeah, I will be happy to be able to spend some time with them. Other than that, it won't change much for us, because if you've been watching me, you won't believe what I'm going to tell you. I've decided not to put the kids back in school, although part of the schools are opening tomorrow, and we were asked the question, do you want to put your kid back in school? And after thinking long and hard about it with my husband, and reading the news and things like that, we decided not to put them back to school. So all of them will be getting back to school in September. So I think 5 or 4 podcasts ago, I told you I was completely out of my mind about that, about the simple idea. It was, I think, beginning of April. I was like completely devastated to even think about kids would not get back to school until September. And now I decided it for myself to not put them back in September. So I must say it changed something in my mind, not being forced to cope with a situation that I did not decide, and deciding to keep them. It changed the way the way it is for me. Before, homeschooling, for example, was hell. I do not know how to say it otherwise. I lived it as really something extremely difficult, extremely stressful. I spent a lot of time shouting after the kids, and it was difficult, and no, hell. But because this time around we've decided to do that, it's like it's magic. And I have a few weeks of homeschooling. So no, it's not the new thing. I think I'm getting the hang of it. And I might even start to like it. Nothing is impossible, guys. Nothing. Okay. So even with Constant, who is in last year of kindergarten and who was mainly responsible for my despising of homeschooling, even with Constant, it's going better. And I mean, it's not really, it had nothing to do with him. I mean, he's a perfectly normal kid. I was the one with the highest expectations and stressed out about him not being ready to go to school and learn to read. And that's the key word here, learn to read. That means he doesn't have to know how to read now. Okay? I don't have to stress out about this. He's going to learn that afterwards. Okay? So if it doesn't, you know, if he doesn't work 5 hours in a row, learning to read R's and S and things like that, it's not a problem as long as he is learning to stay put and keep his focus on something. I mean, if he wants to color code, you know, do some color coding things or work on the computers, because the teachers gave us some wonderful websites where the kids can play for a bit, you know, and it's very, I mean, it's not always pen and paper, it's also interactive and funny and entertaining for them. So I mean, I go with him. If he wants to do some color coding, so be it. If he wants to I don't know, learn to how to count until 40, even if the teacher says 20 is okay, okay. And if he wants to play on the computer with some, you know, there's some little play things about to learn how to recognize the sound associated to the letter, okay. I'm fine with it, anything, as long as he's doing some school things and learning to be off the TV and off the all the toys and everything just for a little while, just to, you know, get used to being a pupil. That's it. That's key. Just learn how to be a pupil, okay? And I'm fine with it. And it's getting, I mean, it's pretty much easier. It's easier for him because he doesn't have his crazy mother on his back, like asking him to do things he's not ready for. I mean, that's really it. He was not ready for what I was asking him to do. And it's really what the teachers are sending, it's really pick and choose. And I'm choosing, he's choosing, I'm choosing with him the best things he can do. For example, that was something about playing with, I don't know, getting a lot of things inside the house and bringing them all in the living room. Was like, not that one, okay? And he doesn't know how to read, so I can do the picking in advance. Or playing with things like flour or rice or no. Okay, or outside, but yeah. So I'm picking and choosing a bit in advance, and then he picks and chooses these what he wants to do, what he prefers to do, and it's working, and it's a relief because okay, we're going to do that for quite a while now again. So, and also since end of March, I mean, I was really upset about not being able to work as I used to, not being able to, you know, I thought I would not be able to do anything. And quite the contrary, I've done so much things, even with the kids. What helps is that my eldest, Ambre, is 12 and she can look after her brothers and sisters for a little while. So I can go to the studio. I don't die on weekdays because I don't want to be away from them for a long stretch of time. But I can work from the living room, do things. And I mean, everyone is getting used to it, and now it's working, and that's great because, for example, for my baby, daycare is not opened for her because she's not tagged as a priority, because my husband is working from home, I'm working from home, so the daycare is opening, but for parents and babies who do not have the possibility to work from home, and that's perfectly normal. But anyway, I told first, before I knew that, I told the manager of the structure that I wanted to keep her at home. So yeah, that's the big news. A big piece of news. I wanted to share that with you because for me it's huge. It's huge, and I wouldn't have thought that I would have been here telling that and saying that and being happy and at peace with that. So yeah, do not despair. I think that's the key message here. Do not despair. So okay, on other fronts, I mean, everything is going smoothly. I'm still very worried sick about my family, but you know, there's nothing I can do right now. So but yes, there's been very bad news from my family, so that's very worrying. But I mean, we don't have the choice. We have to keep on going on. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm working. I have been working like crazy for over the past days. So I'm going to show you. Okay, so first of all, in the project, so I have not recorded a podcast for the past fortnight because I've been crazy busy dyeing kits for the Brioche Queen calls. I've never dyed so much in my whole life, and you know, you learn. Anything you do for the first time, you learn. It's always a learning curve. I'm very happy about what I did, about how I managed everything, but I'm going to talk about that a bit later. First of all, I want to show you the whatever sweater. Despite the crazy work, I separated the sleeves and I'm now working on the body, and that's cool. I cannot, you know, put it on because otherwise I will lose my needles, my stitches, sorry. But I think it's going to be not as loose as I want it to, but it's going to be awesome. I love it. But I mean, I love those colors on me. You know, I'm crazy about neon colors, but usually I don't wear them. I'm always like in very muted, very neutral colors like black and grey, lots of beige. I'm not very much into super bright colors as far as clothing is concerned. But when I put that on me, I think, yeah, it looks good. No? I think it looks good. So I might do some changes about that. Okay, so whatever sweater is growing, we're back in the crazy neons. So that's pinks and oranges and yellows. And next colors, I want to do a little maybe Halloween-y part for the sweater, because I have that green and that purple and that orange and that dark gray. And I think I'm going to, yeah, I think I'm going to do a little, oops, everyone. I think I'm going to, you know, do a little Halloween themed section on the sweater. Makes me happy. Okay, so that's what's on the menu for that one. So it's really from now on the ocean of stockinette stitch, and that's cool with me. And you know, I'm picking it each time I need to need something mindless. I'm picking it up, and I'm still enjoying it very much. So thank you again, Julie, for that pattern. It's great. Other projects. I've made some progress on my Jimmy shawl, but not much. And here I am, late on my own planning, and that's normal. I mean, it feels good. I'm not another person. I'm still the same old Christelle who does a lot of planning and then kicks it out of the way because she doesn't keep up with it. So here's my Jimmy. Oh, I love it. Oh, I was not sure about, you know, that pairing of colors, like the neon yellow, neon orange, and then just beige. I wasn't sure, and I think I'm still not sure. I think maybe I don't like that section very much, but I will not frog. I will learn to love it. And I'm pretty happy about the lace section, how it's looking. And I love the pairing of the framboise sous acide and that colorway. It's lovely. I'm going to do a little fade, so I'm knitting with that color, and then I will use that one, which is Sweetie, and then I will use Champagne Rosé, and then I will use that one, which is, has no name. It's you know, exhaustion colorway, dye bath exhaustion colorway, so no name, and not reproducible, one of a kind. Maybe that one, or maybe that one and that one. And I think I will do the edging with the main color. Yeah, that's the plan for now. Maybe I will change, but it's cool. Yeah, cool. Okay, so that's for Jimmy. I'm almost caught up on the read along, so I'm in the last, very last portion of the book. I think I have 2 hours left to listen. There's been some yeah, some new information. I still don't know who did it, and I talked about it with friends yesterday during the Jimmy weekly Zoom session, and one of my friends read it until the end, and we were discussing options. I told her, I think it's that character who did it, and I asked her just to tell me yes or no, and she said no, so completely wrong. More on that later. Hopefully I will be finished by the next podcast, I hope. Okay, that's for the Jimmy. I'm completely... initially the plan was to send an email per week regarding the Jimmy shawl cowl, and I've not done it in the past fortnight. So I really want to do one because the cowl is ending on May the 17th, but I really want to do at least one last email, just, you know, to have a finished object gallery, because there's been a lot of Jimmy finished, and gorgeous one at that. So that's what I wanted to share with you, and it's been a really fun cal, and although I've been crazy busy the last 15 days, I have really enjoyed it very, very much, and I want to finish it. I will finish it. I will finish the Jimmy. Okay, so now I want to talk about Brioche Queen, because I mean that's what it's been keep me, oh my god, it's been keeping me up at night. Yeah, I managed it. Okay. yes, I've been, you know, working from, I think I started the day around 7 or 8 until, and I was at it until like 10, 11 midnight for like a week. I dyed 4 days in a row for Brioche Queen, and I had plans because usually I think I showed it to you in the seg. I did not record a podcast last week, but I thought about you guys very much, so I thought I'd just, you know, film a little behind the scenes, just to tell you I thought about you a lot, and I wanted to share with you what I was up to. So I filmed a little seg to show you what I was doing, and I showed my planning, and what a breakthrough. The planning it's been really a breakthrough, and in my dyeing organization, and I've done so much in such a little amount of time, because my approach usually was to dye relax and dye pre-orders. That's very structuring because I have orders I need to fulfill, and then whatever I feel like dyeing. But for the Brioche Queen, I had to come with a plan, with quantities, with everything, because I wanted to do a shop update and things like that I don't usually do. So I had to get organized, and I think I will not necessarily plan everything as so many details for the future dyeing sessions, but definitely I will keep the system of having those sheets of papers for recording purposes, because I record everything I dye, and even if I stick to the recipe, I really stick to it in each and every detail, I like to write it down again, because sometimes you don't know why the results are really not what they were supposed to be. So I know also that's because I don't have a very rigorous approach to dyeing. I have a more art-oriented approach to dyeing. So I cover the basics, but I do not wish to go in each, you know, nitty-gritty details. It's not my thing. I like to be able to, you know, get creative. So that's why when you ask me to dye a certain color, yes, okay, but you need to know that it will always be my interpretation, and it will never be exactly what it was before. That means everything has its own personality each time, and I want to keep it that way because that's how I work, basically. Okay, but I wanted to show you my Brioche Queens because I have 2 finished objects. So, you already knew Corrupted Pink and Halloween Dream. But let me introduce you to Dirty Rainbow. Here it is. Haha. So that's the Brioche Queen Cool in the Dirty Rainbow colorway. And the wrong side. And you see the black speckles were very, very light on this version of Dirty Rainbow, and that's what I've been trying to do for the kits for the shop, something that is really close to that, because I've dyed some really more intense Dirty Rainbows lately, with more intense neon colors and more intense black speckling, but for this I wanted to, you know, because you guys really like that pairing of colors, and I wanted to offer you something that was the closest possible to that. So that's Dirty Rainbow. And the second one is Merveille. So Merveille, for the fingering yarn weight, I used Lurex. So Lurex has a silver filament, a silver thread, and so it glitters. And yeah, I love that one also very much. Okay, and so I have only one on the needles now instead of 3. So progress. And the one on the needles is Dreamy Ara. And it's looking good. Here it is. So I'm transitioning to Min Palezza here, but I don't want to unknit or frog it. But if I had to do it once again, I think I would have started with Min Palezza, then Minerai, because there I'm going to end with Minerai. So I would have started with Min Palezza, Minerai, yes, and then the bottom colorway, which I think would fade into each other more smoothly than Eleanor and Min Palezza, which are really at odds. But anyway, I think it's going to be really, really cool. And yeah. So that's the 5th one. And I'm considering casting on a 6th one with whatever's left in the shop. I think Darker Things is left in the shop. If you're a newsletter subscriber, I've sent all the color combinations to you, and also you can find them on my blog. I wrote a blog post about Brioche Queen to introduce all the color combinations I've prepared. There were 10. Also, I wanted to give you alternative ideas for your own, for putting together your own color combination. And I also give you tips to, you know, substitute yarns if you cannot or do not want to use slab yarn, mohair and silk. Well, I gave you some tips to, you know, substitute and still knit your own Brioche Queen with what you have at hand, for example. And so that brings me to the dyeing part of the podcast. First of all, I wanted to show you what the Brioche Queen coal kits look like in the flesh, in the yarn. You know, just for you to see them. So that's the one coal kit. So I bought an electric ball winder. I was crazy to think I could do that without an electric ball winder. And it came the day I had planned to start winding up the skeins. And thank God it, because I wouldn't have been able to do that with manual ball winder. No way, no way. I was at it for 8 hours with, no, not 8 hours. I was at it for 12 hours. 8 hours during one day and 4 hours the other day. So for half of the kits. See, I was crazy. So that's how it looks like, the one coal kit. So that's 50 grams of slub yarn, 50 grams of fingering yarn, and 25 grams of mohair and silk. So I've tried my best to have 50 grams and 25 grams balls. You might have 1 or less grams because sometimes the skins come in not 100 grams, but sometimes just a tiny bit less or more. It depends. Sometimes you will get more. So it's not extremely accurate, but it's always maybe 49 or 50 or 51 or 24 or 25 or 26. So it's not accurate to the gram. I wanted to, if some of you wanted to weigh them, do not be surprised if you don't have a 50, you might have a bit more, a tad less. That's normal. Still, you have enough, plenty enough to do one call. And so I had so much fun coordinating the tags to the color of the kits when I could, because I had to do that with what I had on hand. I just ordered the organza bags because I wanted to something nice and pretty to put the kits in. But otherwise, I used only what I had in my shop already. So, and you have all the details here of the colorway and the what the base is and yardage and everything. So I'm really happy about that. The first time I put one together, I was really moved because I've been thinking about that for such a long time. I was really close to tears actually because it's the realization of an idea I had in my head from start to finish, the pattern, the kits, the colors, I mean, it's a huge achievement for me. So that's the Answer is Love colorway. So that's the Answer is Love on Slub, and that's Éclat de Soleil on Extra Fine Single, and Mohair et Soie, that's Mohair and Silk. And one consequence, though, of dyeing so much yarn at the same time, some colorways that I used to dye and have no trouble whatsoever repeating came out differently. So sometimes it's such an enigma. For example, usually the Answer is Love has more yellow, and this time around, I don't know why, it has more orange. And usually Éclat de Soleil is more yellow, but this time around it has more orange. I mean guys, it's okay as long as they talk to each other and agree that this time around it's going to be more orange and they coordinate themselves. I'm fine with it. I mean, who I am, okay? Really. So that's why one important thing to know about the shop is that in my shop, what you see is what you get. I take pictures of every yarn I'm putting in the shop, even if it's an old colorway, even if it's Framboise sous acide, for example, that you will find really easily in my shop because I dye so much of it. Each time you see Framboise sous acide, it's never an old picture. I'm taking new pictures each time I dye. So if the colorway comes out a little bit different from the times before, you will see it in the picture. It will be a bit lighter, a bit darker, a bit more on the orange, more. I had also a batch of Halloween Dream, which is more green. I don't know. I think they have a mind of their own, actually. And I respect that. I respect that in them. That's why I love them so much. So, okay. So yes, what you see is what you get. What you see in the picture is actually with the skin you will have. So you can even get specific and tell me, I want the one on the left. And if it's not available, because sometimes there is 3 skins on the picture, I will tell you, no, I mean, I'm sorry, it's the one in the middle that's left. You will know. Okay, so do not hesitate to ask me and to tell me if there is really one that you want and not the other and not the neighbor, things like that. So that's the 1 call kit. And the 2 call kit, which is much less work for me, I must say, is that baby. So that's Framboise sous acide Until Dawn 2.0 and Corrupted Pink. And I think that might be my favorite. And to tell you the truth, the first time I dyed Corrupted Pink, I was like, meh. Okay, I'll keep it because, I mean, my taste are not everyone's taste, and maybe someone will love that baby, so I'm going to keep it. And I'm not going to, each time I dye a colorway that I'm not too much in love with, I'm like, duh, I might, you know, over dye it. And I'm resisting the urge each time because I'm telling myself, but you don't know, maybe someone will love it, so it's not all for you. You're not dying for you, okay? So keep it, put it in the shop, and you'll see, maybe someone will love it. And usually someone loves it, so it's an encouragement. So at the beginning I was like, meh, no, not a good colorway at all. And then I wound it up in a bowl, and I started, actually that's a friend of mine who is also a client, who put that color scheme together on a show. And we were discussing, you know, I was just knitting on the sample for the slab yarn because I had just had the slab yarn and it was making its debuts on the show. And Juliette, that's her name, came to me and told me, what are you going to do with that? Because the brioche is looking wonderful. And I was like, I don't know, I would like to, you know, me, I'm shawl. I love shawls. I want to knit a shawl, but I think it's going to be too big or too expensive to put a kit for a shawl. I don't, because for a shawl it would be the double of that. And she's like, yeah, well, why not a call? I was like, yes, that's a great idea. And she was like, okay, so if you're going to knit a call, I want to buy yarn now, and I will test it, okay? And she chose that. She did that. And I was like, okay, that's lovely. Well, maybe the meh is not so bad after all. Okay, so she backed it up. And we were in touch because I started working on a Brioche Queen, actually. And I started not with that, those colors, but with another one, with Halloween Dreams. And I was really happy. And as soon as I was finished with Halloween Dream, I was really happy about how that looked together. I said, okay, I'm going to try it. And I wound it up in a bowl and I started knitting with it. And then I crushed hard. I fell in love, made big time. I mean, it's just, you know, you don't expect so much about it when you see it like this. Well, I didn't. And when I started knitting on it with all the little, because I like to put a lot of speckles, but not everywhere on the skin. So you have some parts with speckles and some parts without. And when you have the parts with speckles, I mean, it's like an explosion of colors. There is a little pops of colors everywhere. And I fell in love with that yarn so much, big time. I love, and I think now it's one of my favorite colorways. Incredible, yes? I'm just the girl who changes her mind every time. For the homeschooling, for the colors, for everything. So yeah, that's might be my favorite colorway now. So thank you for sticking with me for that whole story. It was long, huh? So that's how the kit looks like for 2 calls. With that, you have enough for 2, even for 3. If your tension is a bit tight, I think you have room for 3. At least 2 adults and maybe one kid, because there is a kid size in the pattern. So the pattern will be out on May the 21st. I don't know when I'm going to open pre-orders because I don't have any slubs left to dye. I don't have any mohair and silk left to dye, so I have to order yarn. And I need to ship all your orders because you guys, I mean, I think it's almost sold out in every colorway. So, and that happened during the first 24 hours. So I want to say thank you so much for your enthusiasm about that project and my colors, and I'm so grateful. I'm so happy that you like what I'm doing, and it's so cool. I'm so happy. So I want to dye some again, for sure. I will do that again, but I want to do it in a sustainable way, because right now it's the mayhem in my studio. I spent a lot of time yesterday sorting everything out, you know, putting together kits. I still have a lot of orders that were made during the lockdown, because a lot of customers wanted their yarn to ship after the lockdown. So the lockdown is over, and I have a lot of orders to ship starting tomorrow, plus Brioche Queen kits. So I really want to do that and ship out the orders during the week, and make sure everyone gets his or her order as soon as possible. And then I will work on restocking the shop with kits, and because I mean, I will need to work again very hard to put together so many kits. So I have to plan it. I have to organize it and plan it. So I will do it, but I really want to go through all the existing orders before, and as soon as I'm done with it and I'm confident that I have the yarn to dye, as soon as I have the yarn undyed, then I'm sure I can fulfill my pre-orders, and then I can open them. So I will do my best to open the pre-orders on approximately when the pattern will go out. That's the plan. So I will be busy bee next week from tomorrow to prepare and ship out all the orders, and then I'm on dyeing pre-orders, because I have a bunch of pre-orders to work on, and then opening pre-orders for the Brioche Queen call. I'm very happy about that. Oh, and there will be a Brioche Queen cal, okay? I don't know the details yet, but there will be one, definitely. It's going to be fun. I'm really happy about that. Okay, so what I wanted to do initially was to, at the same time I put the Brioche Queen kits in the shop, I wanted to stock the shop with a lot of yarn for you to be able to put together your own kits. So the kits you will be able to put together for the Brioche Queen call will not be in ball format. It will only be for full skins. When I will do the next round of Brioche Queen kits, there will be again some kits in half skin formats, but not for the ones not for the colors and skins that are already in the shop, listed in the shop as full skins. So I just wanted to tell you that, because I have had requests to have some Brioche Queen with other colors than the one I put together for half skin kits, and I will not do that. Because I have no guarantees that anyone is going to want the other half for, you know, customized orders. So Brioche Queen kits that you put together is for full skins only. And now I'm going to show you what is in the shop, because it's already in the shop. So if you see something you like, you can have it now. First of all, you might remember that's the yarn for Jimmy. Yeah, I've just shown it to you. Where is Jimmy? Okay. So you know the main color for Jimmy is Extravaganza, and it's a colorway that I developed for a collaboration with Sarah Les Petites Mains de Pomelo, who is a great knitting teacher, and she has this sock workshop where she has 4 patterns, and she coaches, and she has a box, and we decided to work together, and for some time she had the exclusive those colorways that I'm going to show you were exclusive to her shop. So that's Extravaganza, and Sweetie. So Extravaganza is in the shop. It is. You can grab it. Okay, so that's on sock. Extravaganza on sock. And it's a really cool colorways with only speckles and drops of dye stock. So you have mainly neon colors, some very light, some a bit more intense, and it's very fun. And you see how it knits up with Jimmy. So you have some on sock, and I have also a bunch on single for, you know, if you want. I love to use those speckled colorways on single for shawls when you have a bunch of colors and you want to have something to link them together. It's perfect. And that reminds me that if you ask me for a bespoke or customized speckled colorway listed in the shop, this is how it's going to look like, basically, with only the colors of your choice. Okay, so Extravaganza is in the shop. And the other colorway that was exclusive to the sock box was Sweetie. So I wanted to put together something for Sarah, one completely wild, so that's Extravaganza, and one more neutral, and that's Sweetie. So it's very, very soft pinks and earth tones in a lovely soft skin of yarn. And that's on the extra thin fingering base, and that's on the Stellina. Oh mon Dieu, c'est trop beau. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm crazy in love with that one. If I had, I mean, 2 other pairs of arms, I would have kept that to myself and knitted something with it. I love Sweetie on Stellina. It's gorgeous. So I've dyed also some minerai, so that grays and greens mixing together with sangria, so that's burgundy with a touch of orange, it's a warm burgundy. So both will be in the shop. Both are regular colorways that I dyed regularly. This is Printemps Normand, which is quite a joke because I'm from Normandy, and you know, Normandy is very rainy, and when you think of spring in Normandy, this is usually what the sky looks like. So that's Printemps Normand, which is spring in Normandy, basically. So that's a little joke. Okay, that's my spring, my childhood springs. And that's a light gray with a very light blue undertone, because, you know, sometimes it was not completely gray. Sometimes you had a bit of sun during like 5 minutes. Okay. And I mean, that is another gray, light gray, silver lining, which has no blue, but it's very, very close to Printemps Normand. And I must admit, I had a hard time yesterday determining if it was silver lining or Printemps Normand. With the good lighting, you can see that it has not blue undertone, so it's silver lining. And I have silver lining on mohair and silk and on lurex, and I especially love it on lurex. It's great. Well, I love glitter. Okay, I have a bunch of slub for you guys. So I have 3 more Printemps Ara, which will go in the shop, which Christelle are in the shop. So you can play with the pairings, you know. That goes wonderfully well with sangria, with minerai. I have a bit of min paluzza also in the shop. I have it on mohair and silk, and I have it on single. and that was a candidate for the Brioche Queen call, but I decided to go with minis instead. But yeah, that one works well, very well. Okay, so that is in the shop. Next in the shop, because I've dyed a lot, I'm going to put that aside because I want to show that to you last. Okay. So next in the shop is the Halloween Dream I was just referring to, which is a bit on the green. I don't know why, but here it goes. My regular Halloween Dream has more white in it, and there it's more green. I still love it. It's still the Halloween colors. So that's on the, oh my god, everything is falling. No, no. Okay, sorry. What do I have? What else? I have one merveille. I have two corrupted pinks. I love them. Two corrupted pinks. Oh, I want to show them to you up close because look at that. So you have the background color is basically pinks and purples and black and gray, and there are a lot of speckles, especially some fluorescent yellow speckles and orange and black and fluorescent purple. I love that colorway. Yes, slab again. The dirty rainbow, but light dirty rainbow, slightly, very slight black speckles. So there will be two. I have two. Oh my god, no, I did it. I didn't I? Sorry, I'm mixing my own colors away. So I've just shown you dirty rainbow close to bright rainbow, but that is dirty rainbow. Okay, and you can recognize them because they don't have any speckles, only the black ones. Okay, so that's dirty rainbow, and that's bright rainbow because I love rainbows, and those are dyed with only speckles and no black speckles, only speckles of neon colors. So they are very, very close, Christelle, very close. I mean, I think I am the only one to be able to recognize them now, because I'm their mom. But yeah, just dirty rainbow is slightly dirty and bright rainbow is not dirty. Okay, that's basically it. And everything is falling. Okay, okay. You will have some Lone Peak also. So that's the last colorway I came up to for Brioche Queen. So that's blues and grays with a splash of deep green, fluorescent yellow, and a tiny, tiny splash of purple. Oh my god. And the last club in the shop is the Love is the Answer. Okay, which is more on the orange. So that's a lot of slab. There has never been so many slab yarn, so much slab yarn, yes, in the shop. So I will also have Déplacement de Stock, so that's neon yellow in the shop, and Éclat de Soleil on mohair. And I dyed some Until Dawn on a single. It's not exactly as the original one because I didn't write the recipe down. I had to recreate it, but I think I like that one better. Okay, so both will be in the shop and are no repeatable because that time around I wrote the recipe down. You will get some really lovely pamplemousse. Oh, I love that colorway. I mean, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So that's on sock. My trusty framboise sous acide will be in the shop too, is in the shop too. And then I have champagne rosé on a bunch of bases. So I have champagne rosé, a long time favorite, champagne rosé. Champagne rosé on single, champagne rosé on Stellina. Oh, oh, beautiful. Oh mon Dieu, j'adore ça tellement. Oh, it's gorgeous. Look, I love the Stellina base so much, so much. And I have mohair and silk on champagne rosé as well. So, and it's almost finished. I have two almost black and white on slab, so that's black and fluorescent lemon speckles on undyed base, and the same, who is looking particularly good on Stellina. Oops, is here. Yeah. Yes. Oh, look at that glitter. I think that colorway on Stellina and slab are my favorite bases for that colorway. They're gorgeous. And that's it. But yeah, oh, it's big, huh? So everything is in the shop. So you have ample munitions to put together your own Brioche Queen core with all the slub there is. And there is a lot of color options for the mohair and silk as well. I've not shown you a lot of mohair and silk here, but there are a lot in the shop. There were a lot of colorways in the shop, so you will have plenty of color options if you want to put together your own Brioche Queen kit. So the last thing I wanted to share with you, I've been, you know, I've been rinsing my tools, and I've been very savvy with the dye powder, like Fiber for the People does. She's a great inspiration, and you know, she never lets any dye powder go to waste, and she does that for water as well. And I really love her. She shares a lot. Well, I love that girl, and I decided that was a very good idea, not to let anything go to waste. So I tried to tried to keep all the dye powder I could by rinsing all my tools in the same water, which became dye stock at the end of the sessions. And because I dyed a lot, I have a lot of dye bath exhaustion colorways. So those are not repeatable. I mean, sometimes the color I have is completely solid. Sometimes it auto speckles. That's something, huh? And sometimes the colors are close, but not when you look, once it's dry, they're not so close. So not repeatable. So if you like something you see here, go grab it. So the first one is a beautiful, more muted yellow. It's not the kind of color that I dye usually, because that one is a bit more muted. But again, maybe you love it, and that's why I'm putting it in the shop. So it's my regular extra fine sock fingering extra thin fingering sock base, and it's a very very light gold, very light gold. It's lovely. Okay, so that's the first one. Then I had that I showed you in the seg episode. I had that really soft tan color, almost pinkish, pink beige, a bit of, you know, on the yellow also, and I speckled it like crazy. So I do not have a name for that yet, but they will be in the shop with a name, and I think I will create a section exhaustion colorways. I think it's going to be called exhaustion or épuisement in French, épuisement, to put those babies on, and you know, not put them together with the rest because it's not the same dye technique. So they're not even exactly the same, I mean, but yeah, you could consider it's the same dye bath because I used the same, they were dyed together and speckled together, so that's as close as it could be. And but there's kind of each one has a different personality. This one is more on the pink and purple. That one is more bronze and greens, a bit of purple, and that one is clearly pink. Pinkish with some deep purple. Well, they do not lack in personality. Yes. And you know what I like to do too is, because I usually like to order some new to me bases to my suppliers, and I like to try them for those very special colorways. And that's what I did for the one I'm going to show you. It's 50% baby yak and 50% silk, so it's pretty gorgeous. Let me see. Yes, so it's in 50 grams skeins, and that's again exactly the same technique. I'm using the leftover dye and speckles, and actually it's the same speckles as that, but the base and the color mix at the beginning of the process is not the same. So that's gorgeous. I do not know, because it's not a regular base, I'm still hesitating. I don't know if I'm going to carry that base or not. So what I wanted to do is see how it looks like with, yeah, it's look really lovely with two other, you know, dyeing experiment I've been having on Suri and on mohair fluff, and I think they pair together very well. What do you think? Isn't it gorgeous? I'm really tempted to, you know, create something very special with those, because yeah, I don't know. Tell me in the comments what you think. Are those three bases you would like to see in the shop? It's possible. And it's possible to create some kits like this, because oh yeah, I think I'm going to create something like that. It's lovely. So let me know what you think, because if you'd like to try a base that's not in the shop and then I don't usually carry, I can always, you know, at the moment when I usually order yarn once a month, I can always order some new bases and try things fun. So you tell me. So that's Suri and silk, I think. That's mohair fluff, and then that's mohair and silk also, and that's baby yak and silk in 50 skeins, 50 gram skeins. Okay, so that's it for the dyeing session, guys. I had a lovely time doing all that. The winding up in balls is my less favorite part, but once it's done and I'm putting the kids together, it's just heaven. I'm seeing that you like it so much, and the test for the Brioche Queen has already started, and the testers are having a lot of fun, and I'm so happy. I really can't wait to knit another one with you and, you know, to spread the fun. Oh, another thing I wanted to show you, because I've not been very, well, like I told you, I had a week of intense work schedule. And then on Friday, last Friday, so that's Friday, just after the shop update, I took a day off. Not completely off, because I still answered to emails and, you know, requests in the shop and things like that. I didn't want to leave completely, but I did not dye, I did not skin up, I didn't sort things out, I didn't do anything, but I did start a new cross stitch project. So that's very tiny beginnings, okay? So it's the yearly stitch along by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So I've started to stitch, to cross stitch in 2013, and always with the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I love those girls so much. So yes, cross stitching, I don't do it often, but it's always my, you know, little bubble of joy and happiness. So I'm very happy to have started that new project. So I'm going to show you here how it looks. It's basically one like a little tableau to stitch every month. So I'm really behind, but that doesn't stop me to start new projects, because I have like 20. I have like 20 cross-stitching projects started but not finished, and that's perfectly fine with me. So yeah, that's the Animal Almanac, I think the name is. And I love also this needle minders. They're from, I don't remember, we'll put that here. I love those as well. I collect them actually. And that's it. And yeah, I love that so much. So yeah, maybe with that time around I will stick to it and make progress. And I have a glittery, yes, can you see that? Golden glitters. I'm like a kid with that, okay? Well, that's it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I was very happy to be back with you, and I'll see you around. You'll see me around for the next podcast episode. So I just wanted to tell you that you need to still take good care of you and your loved ones, because I read something the past day, and it's very true. The lockdown here is finished, but it doesn't mean that the virus is not around anymore. It's still here. We are still at high risk of catching the virus if we are not cautious, and it only means that there are placed now in the hospital to take care of those of us who need like heavy medical attention because of the virus. So it's really not over. So please stay safe, please be careful at each time, and take care of yourselves. Okay, love you guys. Bye bye.